How hard did you push it? Till I black out? Yes. Numerous times, yes.
All right. Bandon Dunes. All right. What's happening, MuniciPals? This is Big C and Ashton reporting from Bandon Dunes. Ish. Coos Bay at the moment in the Red Lion Inn. Very classy little 2.5-star motel. Getting ready to go play with our boy Andre tomorrow out at Coos Bay, but this episode's going to be about what we just did the last 2 days. It's been a crazy last 2 days. We stopped in at Bandon, came in on Tuesday, we left Tuesday, headed to Wairika, California.
Which don't ever go to Wairika, California. It was my first time, and I never want to go back.
Yeah. So if you got that is not a place you want to go to. And so luckily we got there super late, woke up nice and early, and got out of there as quick as we possibly can. And it's such a butthole of California that it was the same temperature when we arrived nearly at 1 a.m. that it was when we left at 9 a.m. And that was over 80 degrees. Awful. So we leave Wednesday, make our pilgrimage to Bandon, check in, settle in, crack a beer. We were told that our room was on the 18th hole of Trails. After we saw where the 18th hole of Trails is, and there are non-existent places to stay, we realized that we were actually even better, kind of, because it was a course that we ended up playing. We ended up being on the 18th hole of Bandon Dunes, the OG. And we literally just, spread the shades, and we were maybe half a football field, 50 yards away from the 18th green. It was spectacular. I mean, this room was ridiculous. No thrills when it came to the room, but the view alone was just ridiculous. So immediately crack open a beer, settle in a little bit, and then we had a 4 o'clock tee time for the Preserve. If anybody hasn't been out there, it's their challenge. It's a short course, but it's also I would consider it more of a challenge course. It's 13 holes. It's just one of the coolest experiences I've ever had.
Wait, we gotta pause. How you feeling right now? How you feeling?
I'm feeling fine.
No. Oh, no. Okay, I meant this is part of the podcast, but no, I was saying, to start off, this is just, a lot of information. We just experienced it. What are you feeling,
Oh, shit. Oh. Dude, I'm in full exhaustion mode today.
Yeah.
Because we just finished 36 between Sheep Ranch and Bandon Dunes. So I'm a little exhausted today, but the feeling we had coming into the resort, I said when we were leaving, but it's actually what I felt coming in. It's like entering Narnia. Mm-hmm. And it's just these, it's a tree-lined 2-lane road that wraps around for about half a mile or so, and then it just it parts, and off to the left you have trails, off to right in front of you have the OG Bandon Dunes. Go a little bit further, Old Mac pops up. Keep going a mile down the road, you've got Sheep Ranch, and it's this coolest experience. And just pulling up, checking in, everybody was the friendliest and most welcoming people I've ever experienced at any resort, golf related or not. Like, they literally were there to make your trip as special as they possibly could. And it could have been a day or it could have been weeks that we stayed there. But I don't think the people's hospitality would have ever changed.
No. I mean, I think that's the way I've tried to describe it is I think I've consumed a lot of Bandon Dunes content. I've thought a lot about Bandon Dunes just in general. I had really high expectations. I knew that my expectations were going to be shattered. And even with all that being said, the feeling I think I have today, to your point, like, listeners should know, like, we're both, like, legitimately, I could put my head down right now and be asleep in, like, 5 seconds.
Yeah, guys, so we're recording this Thursday night. Usually we have our podcast out by this point.
Yes.
But we wanted to get you guys fresh takes, like, straight from when we finished Bandon. So
a little sleepy, a little spicy.
We're hoping, Jack, sorry, Jack, for putting you on the spot and making you get one done real quick. But we're hoping Jack can get this out, Friday, maybe a day late for you guys. So that's what we're hoping. But yeah, we're recording this Thursday at 11:47 p.m. So, but
the thing like I was saying is, like, the expectations were just shattered because I think that it's just a really special place that we've kind of gotten. I know Chris had been here very briefly before playing Sheep Ranch, but today was kind of our first bite at the apple, and it's a place that truly makes you feel like you want to come back because the golf is amazing, and we'll talk about that. But to your point about hospitality, like, there are certain things, for example, when I called and made the reservations and made notes about caddy and, like, who we wanted, and even though we actually didn't get the caddy who we requested, they knew that, like, they knew the person, Andre, who had made the suggestion. And they were like, oh, you're Andre's friend, all these kind of notes and customizations. The other thing, too, that I think is awesome, and we'll talk about this a bit later, but the golf is expensive. Like, everything about Bandon Dunes is pretty expensive. But one thing that we both thought was really cool was the merch. If you buy the right stuff, if you're buying zero restriction and some of this stuff, no, you're going to be spending hundreds of dollars. But, like, I got an Imperial visor today for $22, and that's just, like, a really nice little nugget because you're already getting kind of punched in the face. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But before we kind of dove into the preserve, I think that feeling right now of the reason we're doing this at 11:47 the night of is to really capture that feeling of we both kind of got punched in the face today.
Yes.
We had some good shots for sure. But yeah, man, just like that feeling of it's hard to articulate it, but that's also literally why we're here, to try to articulate that feeling of just complete and total satisfaction.
Oh, for sure. I'm glad you stopped me because I was just getting right into it because I'm just so excited to talk about the courses. I mean, the excitement, just landing, we were just giddy. And we drove 4.5, about 4 hours from shithole Wairika. And I was a little tired from the day before because I had to say goodbye to my high school kids, and we left fairly late, and so we didn't have a lot of sleep that night, but it didn't matter. The minute you pull into this place, your energy level just skyrockets. There's no way that you can be tired when you arrive here. No matter how long you've been driving or whatnot, it's just such a crazy cool place. But after we checked in, after we got the whole shell shock when we first arrived, we decided that we were going to go grab a quick bite and check out the Punchbowl. So if you haven't been to Bandon Dunes, the Punchbowl. So sorry, I was going to get into the preserve. We're going to get back to that. But the Punchbowl is this awesome putting course. It's actually 2 putting courses on a huge putting green. I mean, probably one of the biggest. Probably the biggest putting green I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And the most undulated. They have a tree in the middle of it. It's just really freaking cool. They have a trailer in the back that's converted into a bar, so you can just keep getting drinks while you're out there, or you could walk up to the bar or restaurant right up up top and grab yourself something. In that Packed Dunes? No, what's...
Yeah, it's 18 at Packed Dunes.
Yeah, so that's Packed Dunes, and then that's the Pacific Dunes Grill that's connected to Punchbowl. And so, of course your boy had to try out a hot dog. Class act hot dog making skills. Wouldn't think anything less of that.
Didn't have relish for you.
They did not have relish. And I'm very shocked by that, but they had a lot of really fancy options. So that kind of gave me a little...
Which you said no to.
Which I said no to, of course, because I just wanted something quick and easy and,
I think they offer like caramelized
ketchup mustard.
mushrooms. Like, God,
They do.
Sounds amazing.
They had some crazy stuff. But hot dog was fantastic.
My
9 out of 10 hot dog.
Yeah, my club was killer, and the onion rings. Like,
you had that was my mistake. I ordered fries. You ordered onion rings. They had these they obviously were hand battered onion rings. They were so incredible.
Gigantic.
Yes, and so I ordered French fries. That was a bad mistake. So we played about 5 holes at the Punchbowl. Got a little taste, little on the tip of our tongue, just a little taste.
Yeah,
and
then, it was literally I think we probably had 5 holes, picked up our food, and was like, we got to go get on the show. We ordered our
food. We went down to wait until the food was done. Got 5 holes in, and it was done.
Yeah.
So then we had to jet back. So
yeah, we should also mention the shuttle service.
The shuttle service is sick. So every course has these little kiosks right where the bag drop area is. And you just have to walk up to the person running the kiosk and say, hey, this is the course I'm going to. Can you call a shuttle for me? Shuttle shows up. I'm shitting you not. Every time we called the shuttle, within a couple minutes. It was so fast how fast they got to you. And then we told the girl, we were like, hey, we're actually cutting it a little close. We need to get to the preserve.
Just pick up anybody else.
She literally calls the shuttle people, the dispatch, and goes, hey, I've got a runner, or I don't know what terminology she used, something funny like that. And she was like, we got to get them to their tea time real quick. And she jetted over there and got us there 5 minutes before our tea time. It was perfect.
Yeah.
And for preserve, you don't really need to warm up or do anything. I mean, the longest hole at the preserve was 150 yards.
Which, in fairness, was playing much longer than that.
Yes. Yeah, I think that one I hit that was the one I hit was that the one I hit a 7-wood on?
That's when I...
No, it wasn't, because that was the second hole.
That's when I hit the 6-iron onto the other tee box.
That was number 7, and we'll get to that. Number 7 is where I hit a 7-wood, and it's only 147 yards. Which is ridiculous. Anyways, so basically we got there. We were meeting our buddy Andre, who again is hosting us tomorrow, and we can't be any more grateful for that. We're really stoked with the stuff he's got set up. Double 18s. We're gonna play a little thing he calls Muni Madness, where he sets up every single hole on the course as a par 3. And he just puts markers out. So I'm pretty excited to test that out. And he's got a little routing where we're going to hit from the 7th tee box to the 18th green. I'm just so juiced for that tomorrow. But Andre meets us. This is the first time we get to meet him in person. And his energy that he brings and his personality that comes through text and through the video chat that we did with him, it's all real in person. Like, he is the real deal. Like, probably one of the best dudes I've met in a long time. And so we get started, we get going. Ashton, so just so little people know, we have a little match going between me and Ashton. So over the last few days before I left the Bay Area, we had some tee times set up for some really great courses before, and we'll have some podcasts for those courses as well. We're going to skip those. We're going to do Bandon now. We'll get back to those. But what we're doing is we're doing a match play for every round that we play, and whoever wins the most rounds throughout our little trip, the loser has to pay for dinner when we get to Portland. So by this point, when we get to the preserve, Ashton is up 3-0. So I'm already in the fucking hole. Not looking good. So, and it didn't look good the rest of the trip, or the rest of the Bandon visit, because this is the only time that I played well. And so we start off the preserve, and I have a little rocky start. Ashton won the first 2 skins.
No, Andre did.
Andre won you won the first. Yeah, you won the first 4 skins. So we carried over until hole 4.
And then I made 30.
But Andre did get the first 2 KPs for the first 2 holes. You got the 3rd and 4th KPs. After that, though, lights out by Big C. Neither one of Andre or Ashton. I think Ashton, nope. I got every single KP and every skin from that point on. Something clicked. I think it was right after we got some drinks.
I won 12. 12 is when you didn't finish the hole.
True.
So I won 1 more.
You did win 12 because I hit that one off the planet and couldn't find my ball. It was a disaster. So the cool thing with the preserve is it's a very short course. Again, the shortest hole is 63 yards and the longest hole is 150 yards. So, but with the conditions in the way that the holes are set up, they do not play the listed numbers whatsoever.
And the design too, like on the 63-yard hole, there's like a gigantic dune where you can't see the green, so it's like you don't exactly know where the flag is.
Nope.
Like, and it's so easy, obviously, to get cued and hit it in the dune. I actually sculled the wedge over the green, so I was an NA on a 63-yard hole.
Yeah.
Because I sculled it into the fucking shit from 63 yards.
We all took, I think Ashton took 2 NAs.
Yeah, I did.
But we all at least took 1. Because this course, if you miss the green,
you're off, or you're in a canyon.
You're in a canyon, or you're in deep fescue where your ball is instantly lost, or you're just in a lie that's just impossible. And so you have to get super, super creative. What I love about this course is the creativity that you can have. I wouldn't say you can putt a lot of the holes, but there are plenty of holes out there that you legitimately can putt from the tee box and probably have a great shot from that point. But then you can also do what I had to do, because we had 25-mile-an-hour winds coming at my face, and we were on a, what was that? On 7. It was 147 yards. We had wind in our face. Couldn't see anything. It was fogged out. So, Ashton went first. Literally lost his ball instantly. We had no clue what happened. But then when we got up there, he was just, I think,
I think I was on the other green.
You were on the other green, backside. Yeah. So he went through the green on that. I decided I was going to hit my 200-yard club because the wind was so stiff that I hit my 7-wood, nice little chippy 7-wood, and hit it to within, like, I'm not shitting you, like 2 feet. It was an instant gimme. They walked up and they just, like, kicked me my ball back because it was so good. That was a money shot. But it's so crazy that on a 147-yard hole, I had to hit a 7-wood. And, like, those are the cool things about this course, that there's so many ways of playing it that you can, it's welcoming and opening for everybody. What do you think your favorite hole was on Preserve?
Well, I got to pick the hole I made birdie on, number 4, 118 yards. But the reason I like that one a lot is, like, the way they put the pin was on this little shelf, and so I actually played it off the shelf and kind of spun it back, which was the way to play it. But what was funny isn't the right word, but you two were like, you both had like 100-foot putts because it's a gigantic sort of infinity green. So you've got this like pin sort of tucked off on the left on this own little tier. But then, you know, for example, if I had actually landed it a little bit shorter and sucked it back, I might have been all the way where you guys were. So I really love, I mean, I think that obviously when you're going to have holes that are this short, it really comes down to building really interesting green complexes. So loved that one. And then also, you know, this is kind of a cheat answer, but you got to love 13, like being able to putt it onto the green.
Yep.
That's a really fun one. And then I think the other one, I don't remember which one it is, the one where you and I both like hit it to like 10 feet. Like,
yeah.
The one you can't really keep it on the green. I think that was 6? 7?
7, because I made Bert. That was the one.
We both made par on that.
No, then that wasn't 7. That was actually 6.
6. So it's a 131-yard hole. So
and that was the one that Andre went just deep right.
Like Andre literally hit it over the dune.
Yeah.
And then where he was, there's not a way to keep it like anywhere. So like I think that was his NA because he hit it into the shit and then chipped it into the bunker and then left it in the bunker like 4 times.
Yeah.
And Chris and I both hit very different shots, but both basically ended up. Andre was basically just like, you cannot keep this ball like on the green.
Yeah.
We both did, but it was close.
It was
like my ball landed right of the hole, kind of comes zooming down, and only because I took too much club kind of on purpose, I had more of the green.
And I hit a fade in.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason it stuck, because it rolls right to left. And because I counteracted the side and just came in left to right, it kind of just stuck in there.
Yeah.
And we both were like within a couple feet of each other. But I would say 10 was probably my favorite. Short, 120-yard hole, but it's a little bit elevated in where the green is a little bit elevated above you. You kind of have to hit it up, not much, and I kind of blew it a little right, and I was like 25 feet away from the pin, and I had a downhill right to left putt, and I sunk that for a 1 putt. That thing was...
It's crazy.
It was nuts that thing went in. But that's probably, and to be honest, it's probably a little tainted because I did have such a good hole on that.
I picked my birdie hole.
What's that?
I picked my birdie hole.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But all in all, the Preserve, the way we look at it, and after how we did it, the logo of the course, the meaning of the actual Preserve, which is, it's cool. So all the money that they make in proceeds or tee times goes to the Wild Rivers Coast Alliance. So basically that helps protect the rich lands and waters of the south coast of Oregon, a really cool thing that they built a course just to make money to like support the surrounding areas, to keep it as fucking cool as it is, and to preserve what they have out there, but allow us to play golf within it. I think that's a great process. And I mean you have to give kudos to the owner of Bandon.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and cool because
that's crazy. Kaiser did that
because apparently, well, also the other thing too is apparently they wouldn't let them build the course unless there was some sort of proceeds coming back. But again, I think it's perfect. The only thing to be like we've always talked about, kind of value to listeners, and I think this is the one thing we've kind of talked about is like it's a blast and you should play it, but the preserve's $100 right now if you just kind of go and like
in peak season it's $100.
And I would just say, like, did I love it? Yes. Would I probably skip it if it's $100 again? Yes. And the only reason I'm saying that is because Bandon, like I said in the past, round 1 is full freight, round 2 is half off, round 3 is free. If you're gonna do a 36 loop and have a little break and then go play the preserve for free, have to do it.
Yeah.
But paying full freight for it, like, I don't know.
Not the vibe.
I mean, very honestly, even though I wouldn't trade our day the other day for anything, I probably just would have drank beers at the Punchbowl. And
the thing is at Bandon is there's so many free things that come along on property that unless you're getting half price at the preserve at least, or doing it as your free round after you've done 36 already on property in one day, that's the way to do it.
Well, I think we both agreed, like, $60 would feel fair. But like,
absolutely, because it's not a normal par 3 course.
100 feels gougy.
Yes. 100 is, even if it's going to a good cause, it's still like, woof. I mean, that's a lot.
Well, you also said, I think the other thing is, if it's going to be 100, or this should just be true, like, it should just be all day play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they give you, like, a little bag tag or something that's like, preserve June 3rd, and then that's cool, man. Like, just come whenever you want. Because, like, there are tee times, but, not really. The only thing that we did see to tell people is, like, and this is interesting, because I think this is both cool and not cool. They allow, like, gigantic groups to play, which is, in theory, awesome. Also, like, shout out to RGC, right? We've seen these kind of things before. But what we also noticed was when we were on the last hole, there was, like, a 9-some that went off right ahead of a 3-some. And it was like, yo, like...
Those threesome is boned.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, like... But, like, you're like, but it's cool, though, because, like, we had a 9-some, and, like, you can't really control this. I don't know. The point is the preserve is kind of a bit of a free-for-all, and I think that's sort of why I like it. Again, just know if you're going full season, like, we paid $100. I wish we hadn't paid $100. But also, I mean, it was a really, really fun way to start the trip because didn't have to warm up, just kind of cool, like 105 yards, go after it. Because to your point, to call it a short course is an insult. I mean, we should point this out. Designed by Corcoran Shaw. I mean, and I'm asking this, I don't know that we know the answer. Have Corcoran Shaw ever designed another short course? Like, probably not. So it's like, I mean, even if you just play it once. But again, what we'd highly encourage you, if you're going to go, play 36, go have a couple drinks, and then just go play the preserve. Because if you just said, hey, I don't want to hit a full shot, cool. Then you can just hit chippy sevens around there all day and just kind of, the point is you're not going to, like, kill yourself, the preserve.
But to be
and
honest,
they give you a free rickshaw.
They do.
The little gigantic wheel push cart thing, which help.
But the one thing I will say, to be honest, is even though it's a short course, you can't just bring like 4 or 5 clubs.
No,
with
you hit all your clubs.
I hit other than you could leave your driver 3-wood. Anything you hit over 200 yards, you could leave at home.
But you need 215 in.
You need a 200 club. Because the 150, if it's howling at you, or the 145, it's howling at you, it's needed. There is no way getting around it. You have to hit crazy, like, you have to give it an extra 40 yards. And that was, I our caddy today, that was one thing that he was telling us, that when he tells people that, oh, you have 140 out, but you need to hit a 180-yard shot, they look at him like he's nuts. But we experienced at the preserve the day before, you absolutely need to do that. Mm-hmm. So when he was telling us today that, you know, we're 120 out, but we need a 160-yard shot, we're like, okay. And it was right on every single time. It was so sick. But to wrap it up for the preserve, it just was, it was a great time. Was it worth it $100? No. Is it worth playing for free or at half rate? Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. But if you want to save some money, they got Shorties, which is a short course over at the practice facility. Really, not really a short course. It's kind of like just a really small little practice area, but it's like set up as like kind of a short course. Then you've got the Punchbowl, which is the putting courses. There's so many like cool things you can do for free that if you don't want to waste the money on the preserve, if you're not going to do it as an add-on, go do all the other things, because you can have so much fun doing those things as well.
We should also point out the experience we had at the Snack Shack. We met a lovely woman named Janine who was like, this is I think what's special is like, I mean, because good customer service in my mind a lot of time is just like, you know, yes ma'am, yes sir, you know, getting you what you need, just like people being friendly. She took it to the next level. I mean, I ordered a margarita, Andre ordered I think a Crown and Coke, and then Chris just goes, you know what, I'm gonna get a lemonade and a cookie. And she just roasted his ass. She called him Cookie Monster. Like, and not just to be clear, not just calling him Cookie Monster. She was doing like the thing from The Office. Like she's
actual Cookie Monster sound.
Yeah, she's like cookie, C's for cookie. Like it was crazy.
She was absolutely roasting me, but in the best way possible. She was a gem. Like, if every golf course had a woman like that running their turn, they would have so many more return customers.
I mean, she called me Vanilla Smooth, which is like...
We have 2 new nicknames, so I'm not just Big C, I'm also Cookie Monster now.
The C is for cookie.
C is for cookie, I guess. So, you know, she knew what was up. And Ashton is now Snowflake, a.k.a. Vanilla Smooth.
And the story for that was that she was asking me what tequila I wanted, and I told her the cheapest one. She was like, oh, well, you should think about Casamigos, like, which apparently Casamigos isn't even that good. But she's like, oh, it's got a taste of smooth vanilla. Also, can you taste smooth? Like, I know that's a whole marketing thing. But yes, so apparently I'm smooth vanilla, and Lemonade Cookie Boy over here is just... And also, one thing we should put on our social media to get some listener feedback on. Big Chris ordered an oatmeal raisin cookie.
One of the best cookies ever made.
Let's just say he had a choice between chocolate chip and oatmeal raisin, and he chose chocolate chip. But he also puts relish on his hot dogs.
Oatmeal raisin. You just said I chose chocolate chip. I did not.
That's true. This is where it's 1:00 it's whatever time it is. My brain is cannot remember the kind of cookies you consumed. But shall we talk about Bandon today?
Man.
Yes.
Let's start it off with the morning. We planned to wake up at 7 a.m. The night before, we decided after we played the preserve that we were going to go back to the Punchbowl because we had a couple hours of light left. Andre's brother joined us, which he is, oh man, this dude is a character. And I mean, in the best way possible. This guy is absolutely awesome. Paulo, right?
Yeah.
And Paulo is just, man, those 2 brothers running Coos Bay are absolute gems. Great men.
Like he's wearing like diesel jeans that are kind of cut up. He's wearing this like
custom made Coos Bay golf hat.
This like quilted it was really uncomfortable. It was like a quilted vest with buttons on this like really like thick neck, and he's like not a big dude. He's like pretty short, and he rolls up, and it's just like, what is
the loudest,
happening?
biggest personality and like welcoming, friendly, just ready to get down the minute he showed up, and
You could, yeah, exactly.
he brought the party.
I mean, things really went sideways when Paulo
Yeah,
arrived.
when Paulo showed up, because so he showed up. We had about, I think we were just
We
finishing up.
had
The
just finished
18th
our
hole.
yeah, exactly.
And so like we
Because the
finished
Punchbowl has two 18-hole courses.
Yeah, so we finished the
Think
first
about that.
one.
There's 36 holes of putting out there.
That's what I'm saying. You can spend a whole day just out there.
Yeah.
And so he shows up. We decide, all right, we're gonna start over on the other course, and we're gonna play. So we walk over there, and these two girls approach us, and two of the nicest people, but like they approach us in kind of like a weird way, and they're like, "Hey, you guys want to play a 2 versus 4 match?" And we're like,
No.
First off, we don't know who you are, and we're like, not really. We're kind of just hanging out. And then Paulo, being Paulo, just starts up a conversation. Learns a little bit about him, and then we just all start conversating. And these two girls, their names were Rachel and Steph. Super cool fucking girls. From a married couple from Denver. Awesome. We're visiting in Bandon. They were kind of doing the cool thing and didn't have anything reserved for a couple days. And so, of course, Paulo and Andre being themselves invited them out to play Coos Bay today. So that's where they all went out. But we decided we were going to play, just all together through the putting course. So I think we only got through one hole.
Nothing.
We talked and were fucking around so much that we didn't get through anything. Andre,
God bless him, is ordering double transfusions, and that's
one after another.
Yeah.
And then Paulo goes, all right, I'm going to get us a table upstairs at the Pacific Dunes. We'll grab some dinner. We're like, all right, cool. So we go up there. We basically are the last. We actually are the last.
They closed
ones.
at 10, and we left at 10:30 last
Yeah.
night.
We left at 10:30. And, long story short, we don't go to bed till, closer to midnight. If not, maybe a little after that. And we plan on being up at 7 a.m. So wrapping back around. Our tee time is 9:20 at Bandon Dunes. So luckily, we are only, around the corner. We're staying on the 18th hole, so really close. But this guy, because of the shenanigans the night before, decides to hide his wallet from himself. So
I put on my pants this morning, and the pouch I keep, or the pants pocket, like my back pocket has an extra pocket where I put my wallet. It was unzipped, and I could not find it. And it kind of fucked up the whole morning because I was in a panic because I was like, okay, we didn't really go anywhere. Like, preserve. Also, one thing we should note, when you get here, you get like a number in your name. You basically kind of like just like charge things to your name as opposed to like having to use a card. So I thought I had used it like once or twice, but I hadn't really had a need for it. So I hadn't thought about my wallet a bunch. But yeah, I thought there were one or two places it could be. I called the front desk. No one had turned it in. And I was in a bit of a panic this morning. So, our grand ideas of we're going to get breakfast, we're going to warm up.
we planned on going to the practice center and getting breakfast ahead of time and doing all these things.
None of that happened.
I think we ended up leaving our hotel room at like close to 8:30.
Even later. I think it was like 8.
Yeah, it was fairly late.
Like, I just know that by the time we started to walk, like when we actually walked towards the golf course, and I saw the caddy master like talk to us for a second, I was like, because Chris was really hungry. I was not. But I was like, there's a good chance that Chris isn't going to get food.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how close it was. I was like, I don't know that he's going to have time to get a breakfast sandwich and they're being so nice. But the caddy master's like, where are you from? And I was like, I want to have this conversation, just not right now.
We walk up. First person we see is the person that everybody tells us we have to meet.
Yeah.
And it's Shu. He's just, what is his title again?
It's like Master of Happiness.
Yeah, I mean, just the nicest guy. We bring up our buddy Marcus Chang, and he instantly says he remembers him. It starts like with a glowing smile, which is pretty awesome. And he goes, "Yeah, Marcus Chang is staple of Bandon Dunes." And
it's crazy because I view Marcus as really forgettable personally.
Yeah,
just kidding, I guess.
But it was just such a cool thing. And then after that, we met the caddy master, and he wanted to know everything about us. And
so you got a podcast?
I don't know how he knew about us having the podcast and all that, but it was so cool because he was so interested, and he actually came up to us after our round, asked us how our round was, and then also how he could, find our podcast, which is super cool. I mean, I couldn't ask for any more, but we had about 15, 20 minutes until we had to tee off. So we wanted to get some putts in, but to be honest, we really didn't have time for it because I was so starving. I had to get something to eat. I had to absorb some of the alcohol from the night before. And so I would say this is our only bad take of Bandon. We walk in, they have this little,
To be clear, this is not that big of a deal.
This isn't that big of a deal.
But it was not good.
But it was kind of off-putting.
It was jarring.
Yes. Everybody else is just so friendly, so opening, so wanting to talk to you. We walk in, they have this little kiosk window where you can order pre-made stuff, stuff to go really quick. It's basically their turn house because Bandon loops back to the clubhouse. It's the only one that loops back to the clubhouse like that, on 9. So we go in there.
And there's no snack shacks or anything, actually.
Yeah, no snack shacks or anything out there. So this is kind of your quick stop. So we walk in there. They got some breakfast sandwiches and some other things. So I'm like, all right, cool. I walk up. The girl doesn't say anything to me. I kind of go, hey, I wanted to get a breakfast sandwich. Without saying anything, she opens this little tray thing, grabs my breakfast sandwich, throws it on the counter, and go, anything else? Just like the rudest, it
was
weird.
jarring.
It was just weird. And she did the same thing kind of to Ashton when he stepped up and ordered his food.
Well, I got the big shout out to, I got the Bandon protein balls. Absolutely delicious.
I can vouch, fantastic.
Really, really good. They're basically little peanut butter balls. But they come in this little box. And, she literally just, dropped, the box, clattered on the table. Like you could hear she just, flung the box down and it made this, clattering sound. Anything else? And I'm like, can I have a double espresso? And basically kind of threw the cup at me. It was just... Again, it was just jarring. And then the funniest thing was Chris was I don't know why, he was going to talk to me about it. But the caddy master right there, so I actually kind of punched Chris to stop talking because we're going to have to explain to the caddy master. That girl's going to get fired.
Yeah, I didn't...
And maybe she should have been.
The way Bandon is ran, it's like Disneyland. If somebody's out of line and somebody else hears about it, they're going to just disappear. That's kind of how you feel about Bandon. They'll just disappear somewhere and be replaced.
Oh, now she lives in the gorse.
Yeah, now she lives in the gorse. And so Ashton just didn't want to get there.
Well, because
we didn't have the time to have the conversation.
In fairness to you didn't know he was right there.
No,
there's no way
down.
we could have responded without him noticing.
I was unwrapping my sandwich while I was also bitching. And anyways, so we eat our food real quick. I think, do we throw a couple putts?
Just a couple.
Just a couple.
And then we get to the tee.
We get to the tee. I look down.
And to be clear, tees are going in the ground at this point.
Close. We're getting there. the starter comes up and he gives you kind of a spiel, and he gives you a rundown of how the day's gonna go, and how to go about it. And while he's giving that spiel, I look down and I'm still wearing my regular tennis shoes. This is just how our morning went and how much of a rush we ended up being in. So I ended up looking at our caddy that we have, Lucas, which was the coolest kid. Junior college golfer at the local junior college out here. Just solid caddy too. I mean, gave us some insanely good reads and stuff like that. But I look down, wearing the wrong shoes. Look at Lucas. Hey, I gotta run to the car real quick. I'm not wearing any golf shoes. And he's like, oh, okay.
At that point, he's like, God,
at that point, yeah, they're all kind of like, what is this dude doing? So my big ass, who never runs, jogs / sprints over to the car, grab the first pair of golf shoes I could see in the back of the car, throw them on, get back over. Luckily, I get back over. Only 2 of them have teed off, so I'm able to take a quick breath to hit a shitty, pushy drive to the left. Not where our caddy told me to start the line. So, first hole was a little bit of a mess. I did not start our day
Chunky
off
boy.
right. Chunky boy ended up tripling our first hole. It was a rough start. Just not good. And Ashton hit a pretty good tee shot, but after that kind of could. So the one thing with Bandon is the ground is so hard because it's all built on really hard sand dunes. And getting used to how tight their lies are takes a little bit of an adjustment.
Big time.
Especially from the furry-ass fairways that we're used to in the Bay Area and up in Portland.
I just kept hitting like thin iron, because wedges off of tight lies are hard.
It really hard, and you really have to adjust to it where you open up your leading edge a little bit so it kind of just glides over it and slides underneath the ball, where if you close your face at all, it is a extremely difficult shot.
Yeah.
Super hard on those type of tight lies. So
yeah, we got off to a tough start. But I think we should share some overall views before we say some specifics. I think that Bandon. I'll go ahead and say we'll talk about both, and we don't have to compare. But I preferred Bandon to Sheep personally. I think that how do you put this? The floor is so high on everything Bandon. There's not a bad hole. They're all really, really good. And then on top of it, Bandon, if you think about 4, which is the first time you see the ocean, you just turn the corner and suddenly the ocean's there. And then 5, you're right along the ocean as well.
Also the hardest hole in the course.
Super hard. And then 6, and then again a bunch of solid holes, and then you have 12, 15, 16. 16's this 260-yard uphill par 4. It's just the course itself is just it's so good. It really makes sense. I know that everything else we've experienced has been an amazing add-on, but it really is a true tip of the cap to David McClay Kidd, because if that place wasn't as amazing as it was, nothing else goes on to exist. So I think that I really loved it, and it's just, again, a bunch of really solid holes with some absolute bangers in 4, 5, 6, 12, 15, 16. So I just wanted to kind of share the overall thoughts before we dove into anything specific.
Bandon was just, it was so good. And the amount of oceanfront holes that were on that course, and the weaving in and out of the inland side to back onto the ocean and back, it was just an insanely well done layout. One thing I will say, David McClay Kid can go fuck himself with all of his fairway bunkers.
You find everyone.
I found every single middle. So the one thing I'll say at Bandon is there is anything that is of a little distance on any of the holes. If you got some distance, he puts a fairway bunker smack dab in the middle of the fairway. So the way I hit my shots, I hit a left to right fade. Every time I would start it off left and fade it right into the bunker. It was, I'm pretty sure I found 80% of the fairway bunkers off the tee. It was absurd at one point. And I think we got to like the 13th or 14th, and I missed the fairway bunker by a couple yards to the right of it. And everybody's like, don't do it again. The whole group is just at this point trying to cheer for me to not hit a fairway bunker. And finally I did not. And it was fantastic. And I think that was 13 when that happened. But it's just such a well-designed course. Bunkers are so well placed. The greens are immaculate.
Yeah, the greens were great.
God, just in such good shape. That's the one thing we'll get into when we talk about Sheep, is the greens rolled really well, but it's a very natural landscape out at Sheep Ranch compared to Bandon, where it's still a very natural landscape, still, out there on the ocean, but it's a little bit more manicured. They keep it really tight. The
greens are just faster.
The
too.
greens are much faster, much more well maintained. The Sheep Ranch is kind of just left out there to be what it is, and that's the cool thing about it. That's kind of why it's my favorite golf course, and we'll get in on. That's the best one. My favorite that we've played. But what do you think your favorite hole was today on Bandon?
I really liked number 5. It's the hardest handicap hole. It's 400 yards from the tees we played, but it's got 3 dunes that are basically just there to sort of tease you. I think Lucas said they're only 170 yards out. The fairway looks to be pretty wide. You can see the ocean on the left. And then right about, again, this is where David McClay Kid is so good. Like right about where I am, without flexing, like I hit my driver like really well, perfectly straight. So like I wasn't like it didn't matter that like where it came in. But right where the dunes, like their dunes kind of pop up, it's right kind of where you are. So the point is, if you had to drive offline, you're going to be kind of in the dunes and the shit. But basically, it kind of tapers, and it's all surrounded by dunes. So by the time you get to like up where your ball is in the fairway, you actually won't see the ocean anymore. And then you kind of got this like crazy green surrounded by all these dunes, and it's just really, it's kind of the embodiment of everything. Where it's like you got ocean, you got dunes that aren't there, you got bunkers, you've got you got gorse, you got dunes, you got a little bit of everything on kind of one hole. And they said that that hole when the wind's blowing is significantly harder, and then from the back tees it's 428. So I really liked how that hole sort of encompassed everything. But I know this is very cliche, but there's just so many options.
Yeah, for sure. We I would say, oh man,
6 is such a good hole.
6 was good, but also 15.
Remind me of 15.
Shorter par 3. That if I'm not mistaken, it was that one that I blew both shots off the cliff to the left into the water. So I didn't play the hole well, but it's a insanely picturesque par 3 right on the cliff. If I'm not mistaken, this is the hole I'm talking about. And the wind was gusting at us at this point. So towards the end of Bandon, towards the end of our round, we started getting a lot of wind. And so it was gusting at us. So I clubbed up both times. He's like, you can miss it right, you can miss it long. I don't ever go left. And both tee shots I've blown left off the cliff into the ocean. Super, super frustrating. Like, absurdly frustrating. But that hole was absolutely fantastic.
And I think the other thing to share, because we don't need to sit here and talk about every single hole, but I think the thing that I really appreciated about Bandon, one thing I think that for me, as the more I'm playing golf and the more I think becoming more nuanced to what I enjoy, is I truly love a golf course that you're walking off of a green looking back at a hole and you're just like, man, the next time I play this hole, I now know something I didn't know, and there's now something that I would do differently, or the next 5 times I'm going to play this, there's going to be something that I'm going to do differently. And there is, and even though we had a caddy, this isn't like a shot at Lucas, but there's just a whole bunch of stuff at Bandon where it's like these little subtleties that I can't get out of my head. And I think that there's just so many good examples of, like number 13, 537 yard par 5. I had a really good drive, and I had maybe like 215, 220 yards in. And, well, I mean, I hit a terrible shot. But the point is, like, because of the way the hole was laid out, even though I was going to be, air quotes, attacking the green, I didn't realize what, like, a false front it was. And then you get up there, and it's this, like, just, like, totally, like, middle finger of, like, a green of, like, anything short of the flag not only comes back, but comes back all the way off the front. Anything long, you're probably going to be chipping it off the front of the green. Like, you can make a 12 on that hole super, super easily. So I think that's just the big thing that I walk away from this course is like, I would say stimulating, like fair, great greens, quick greens. And the one thing that like is the one big thing that's very different from the 2 rounds we played. You kind of need to be hitting your tee ball on the planet at Bandon Dunes. Like if you're hitting your driver everywhere, you're going to shoot a million. Or a cheap branch, that's just not the case. So yeah, man, it was like it's a great golf course.
So, correction, the hole that I blew it off the planet, and that's my favorite. Sorry, we're a little tired. It's number 6. So number 6 comes back right across the cliffs.
Number 6, yours wasn't off the planet. Yours was off the back, like just off the back of the green.
No, number 6 was the one I got an 8 because I blew it off the cliff twice.
Oh.
Yeah, I got them mixed up.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was not a fun one for me, but it was my favorite hole just because if I did hit correct shots, it's just a picturesque hole. It's just, you can't beat how beautiful that hole was. And same with 5.
Well, and that's so hard because like you hit it left and you can't hit it left, but then like where I hit mine, I had like a bit of a draw, and like it like landed by the hole, but then there's a huge false front on the back.
Yeah.
And then you have this huge collection area, and if you catch it again, like you should just putt it. But if you decide to get cute and chip it, you can chip it into the water, and so it's like that's where it's just like everything can go sideways here really, really fast.
I would say one other hole that we were talking about, 16 has got to be one of the coolest holes. Like, I mean, it runs right along the cliffs. You have to hit over this, like, I don't even know what to call it. Like, what was the what was the fescue that they kept talking about?
Gorse?
Gorse. So it was just a big, like, giant dune of gorse that you had to clear.
Which, to be clear, it's like this green bush that, like, just eats your ball. Like, you can't even go in there.
You have to land it between that and another hazard. And then you have, you know, not even more than 120, you know, with the wind at your back coming into that hole. And I think both of us hit killer shots onto that one.
I mean, I flew the green.
You flew
or
the
not
green,
flew, but
and
like
I was just right of the bunker on the right, maybe 30 yards off. I mean, we crushed some drives on that one. So again, we're not going to get into every hole, but man, Bandon Dunes was just an undescribable, like, experience. It was so good.
Like, we haven't played all of them, but like,
and guys,
it's the original and it might be the best.
I'm not a walker. I mean, Ashton will vouch for that. It's not a hard walk. If you don't walk that often, it's very doable. You know, we did 36 today between there and Sheep Ranch, and I was able to complete it with no issue. I mean...
Well, you did say that your hips were seizing up, or had locked.
I got a little sore after we sat down to eat. But that's another thing. And so after we finished Bandon, we parted ways with our caddy for a short time. We went inside Bandon, grabbed some food, which,
so good.
By the way, food was incredible. Ashton had a beautiful steak salad.
Skirt steak salad, and Bandon does. I think they do one beer in house, and it's the Bandon Pale Ale. It was absolutely delicious.
And just so you guys know, the food is incredibly reasonable for being at a resort.
Yeah.
I mean,
skirt steak salad, a beer, and tip was $25.
Yeah, I mean, I had a burger of transfusion. I think I was 20 with tip. You know, burger was $10. I mean, just insanely good deal. And so after we ate, we thought we were going to have a little bit more time to get some practice in, because Sheep Ranch is the only course on property that has its own practice facility.
Which is supposed to be great. We just unfortunately didn't have enough time to experience it. So by the time we got over there, Lucas was already waiting for us, waved us over. It was because I got there before you, because you were putting on your shoes. I'm like pretty sure he thought we weren't coming.
Yeah.
Like, he jumped up. He's like, "Oh, there you are," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, man, sorry." Like, we had some lunch.
Yeah. Like, he was stoked that we showed up. And
we also hadn't paid him yet, so.
Yeah, and we haven't paid him yet, which would have been real scummy of us to bail on that. But we go in, check in real quick, head out, and she goes, "Oh, we'll come out and we'll start you guys out." Well, nobody really comes out and starts us. Lucas is kind of just like, "Oh, nobody's out here, let's just go." And so we're about to tee off. She comes out, says, "Hey, just so you know, I want to let you guys know that there's no one that's teed off for like close to an hour, and there's no one that's going to tee off for about another 30 minutes behind you. So, and to add to how great our final round was, we got paired up with no one else. It was me and Ashton and Lucas. That was it. That was all. It was the perfect scenario, because we just got to be on our own vibes this time. We turned on some music, because I don't know about the guys that if they're going to ever listen to this or not, that we played with at Bandon Dunes, but they were not our vibes. Not our thing. And we won't get into that.
Nice guys, not our vibes.
Not our vibes. And their caddies definitely enjoyed hanging out with us a little bit more than caddying for them, which was kind of funny. But when we go, so she comes up and tells us that, wide open. The thing I love about Sheep Ranch and what you see right off the bat is there really is no distinguished tee boxes. It's just the fairways and greens just kind of all flow together. The tee boxes flow right into the fairways flow right into the greens. It's a really cool design, something you really don't
Not
get
often.
anywhere. Like, you go out there and you're just like, they just throw fucking tee markers out in the fairway. That's kind of how it feels. And every time you walk hole to hole, it's just the grass is mowed so tight that it just kind of seems like all the holes are flowing to each other. Really freaking tight property too. I mean, they tucked this thing in there. It's really close together. Ashton's first shot on Sheep Ranch was a little stiff.
Breakfast ball. Actually,
Well,
2 breakfast balls.
2 breakfast balls. Over into the 18th fairway.
Yeah, not the best.
Not the best.
But I gotta say, like, I've not played every course, obviously. Like, the first tee shot and then the walk at Sheep is like, it's very cool.
I would say that trumps Bandon with first hole.
Not even close.
It's just, basically you come out from behind this dune, this hill, and it just opens up to the entire property in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Like,
You walk about 100 yards
It literally
out.
feels like a ramp.
Yeah. You're just kind of coming down slowly.
And then all of a sudden it just opens.
And it just opens up. And you can... what I love about Sheep is you can see almost the entire property from the first hole and from most of the holes. It's a really cool design and probably actually the easiest walk on the course as well. Lucas was pretty stoked to get us because he got the 2 easiest walks on the course. So he was pretty stoked on having Bandon and Sheep for us. But such a beast carrying double bags for both of our rounds, because that's a hefty load, especially with us blasting them left and right. He was all over the place with our bags.
Well, I think we were better than most people when it comes to blasting them left and right.
True.
From what he said.
True. But first hole opens up just absolutely, spectacular, opening hole. I mean, I don't think you can get better than that. It just opens up to exactly what you're looking for.
I've heard many people say that it's the best. Like, we don't have enough of a sample size, but I feel like that's become pretty well known now at this point.
Yep. And then, you go down 1, finishes on the ocean. Then 2 kind of comes a little bit back inland.
Super short.
Super short, par 4.
Like, can drive with the green at the 3-wood.
If you cut the corner, you absolutely can drive the green, especially because the wind is at your back on that hole. So anytime you're coming north up the water, the wind is most likely at your back. So you kind of get a little bit of push there. And then from 2, 3 comes back out to the water. Short par 3, really, really fun.
Infinity
fun
green.
hole. Infinity green falls off to the back and shares a green with the 16th hole. And you would never know really until I didn't really notice it because of where I hit my ball. You really didn't notice that the 16th green in 3, it's huge. It's absolutely ridiculous how big the green is and how they have it mowed.
On the Knowing Up video, DJ actually hits it down into 16. It's kind of crazy.
It's a pretty cool little area. And then it kind of wraps back in for a while. You got 4 that kicks into the middle of the property, and it's the widest fairway in the entire property. So the cool thing with Sheep Ranch is this course does not have any sand bunkers. So they've got what they consider natural fescue bunkers, where it's just kind of a thicker rough that's in these, built out mounds. And it's interesting because they're still very difficult to get out of if you get in them, because they're very small. They have very high walls, so you can get stuck in those. But 4 is sick just because how big the landing area is. It's ridiculous. And then 5 comes back to the water. Again, I think, was 5 a short par 4 or par 3?
5 is a par 3.
Yeah. So par 3 coming back to the water and right on the cliffs. Literally right on the cliffs. One of the coolest freaking holes, I think, ever. And you know why I got confused on Bandon Dunes with 16? Because I think I did it, or I was confusing it with 16 on Sheep.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't blow it into the water on 16, but it's a very similar hole aspect.
16 is the signature hole.
And one of the coolest, because we're skipping ahead a little bit. We don't really want to drown you guys with hole by hole things here, but 16 is something that has to be talked about because it's a very, very short hole. Super, super short. I think, buck 30?
131.
Yeah. And it has this giant wall, of a dune to the right-hand side of it. And you either have to hit, a nice fade in if you're right-handed, or hit a draw if you're left. And it's a very challenging tee shot for what it is. And so our caddy is left-handed, so he doesn't get to have some fun out there very often because he doesn't get to loop for a lot of left-handers. So we wanted to see. I made a comment on this hole because it's right on the cliff, and the way that the wind was coming off the cliff, it was kind of coming left to right on this hole. So we were coming around, we hit our shots, and I said a comment where I thought it would be funny to see somebody hit a ball all the way out, basically off the cliff, as far out to the sand, and then bring it all the way back. And our caddy's like, yeah, I can do that. So grabs one of Ashton's clubs and literally smashes the sickest looking shot where it goes 30 yards out into the ocean basically, and then wraps back around and lands onto the green about 20 feet away from the pin. It was so much fun. And yeah, 16 is just an incredibly sick hole. And then you've got a great 17 is I would say that's one of their signature holes as well.
Oh man, I think the other thing to mention too is the today there was a lot of mist and fog, and it was just spooky out there.
It was
in a really interesting way. And so 17, you're right along the water there, like you've seen on the pictures, and there's these dead trees, and you I've got these amazing pictures on my phone of these 4 or 5 dead, they're literally dead trees, and with the fog and stuff, it's really cool. And also from the tees we played, even from the back tees, only 326. But one thing that was cool is we didn't get to hit a shot from there, but after 16, Lucas told us, he kind of showed us where the tournament tees are. We're actually teeing off pretty much near 16 green. The hole becomes a lot longer, but yeah, 17 was super, super cool.
You can't even see where the fairway is from where he was telling us the tournament tees are. It just, you basically have to hit this insane fade that just rips back over into the fairway in hopes that it's out there.
Yeah, but super cool. 300 for us, 314 yards. Just super, super cool. Really, 16 and 17 back to back. It's a real treat.
It really is. And then 18 is kind of just a warm hug on your way out.
But like also way harder than the number on the card.
Yeah, I mean
436 par 5, but like I mean, man,
you get a left to right wind on that hole. So it's a little challenging, especially with my shot that I hit, because I hit a fade. So it really kicks me out right. And that's what happened to me big time on the approach shot to the green, because I ended up, basically there's this giant slope off the right of the green that goes down into this collection area, and that's where I ended up, because it just went right off there. And Lucas, our caddy, was telling us you want to hit it just right of the clubhouse, and that was not the line I decided to take. But 18 was just a freaking blast. I mean, I just can't say anything bad about both the courses. And I can understand why you would love Bandon Dunes over Sheep Ranch, just because it's just a lot of short par fours, and some of the holes do feel a little repeatable, but there's so many signatures in Sheep Ranch, like the volcano hole.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the coolest hole we played today. I think is that number
11.
11.
Yeah, sick. It actually feels like you're on a completely different golf course when you play 11, because it's tree lined.
It kind of feels like trails, I would imagine.
I would imagine that's probably what it feels like, because it's tree lined on the left. It kind of feels like we were in the Bay Area when we were on this hole. Because it's very similar to some of the holes you'd play out there. But the crazy thing is, it's this elevated green that goes up a good 20 feet. I mean, if not more.
Oh,
in elevation.
More.
Yeah, maybe 30 feet. But you think that the green starts right at the top of the hill, but it actually is a good 30 yards past. It's very deceiving. One of the coolest holes ever. So I mean, if I could say anything, Sheep Ranch was my favorite because I really enjoyed all the signature holes. I really enjoy the openness of the course. It
is great. We were saying, especially as a second course, like when you're tired. Like, on the back nine, I hit some of the worst shots I've ever hit in my life, and I think I made par on several of those holes.
Yes.
And that was, honestly, really fun and appreciated, because if I had hit those shots at Bandon, I would just be in my pocket, and that's not fun. It's not fun.
If you're gonna loop 36, I would definitely always have Sheep Ranch as your second go at it for the day. Because
even though allegedly in the morning it's actually still and quiet out there, which would be pretty amazing. So maybe try it both ways.
You could try it either way, but it's an easy walk. If your game is starting to slowly fade by the end of the day, you'll still be able to keep it going. It's just a really fun course.
Yeah,
I can't say anything bad about any of them.
And great clubhouse, a little fire pit area on 18.
Not much of a restaurant, kind of more just a to-go little situation.
Right.
But still really sick.
And we should note, Sheep Ranch is kind of out on an island.
Mm-hmm.
You can explain more about that, but it's kind of out on its own.
It's kind of about a mile away from the rest of the resort, so you kind of have to. You can either leave the resort and kind of wrap around, go this back route, or you can kind of go through these weaving roads that kind of pop you back out and then pop you into where Sheep Ranch is. So it's kind of in its own world compared to the rest of the property, because the rest of the property is kind of all along this, one road that leads to everything. But I mean, again, what a fucking last 2 days.
And then I found my wallet, which was great. And then we had dinner at Bandon Trails, which was apparently sold out. So.
That was definitely a recommendation that we got from many people. Before we get into that, Ashton finding his wallet was the absolute best ending to the day. Good. Because he was actually smart drunk, and put it in his little fanny pack that he keeps all of his
Like my valuables.
most important things. So, of course, that wasn't the first place we checked when he fucking lost his wallet, because we're idiots.
Well, most people don't get torpedoed and then do smart things.
Yes. So, anyways, glad we found it. Then we decided to head over to Trails to see if we could just get in, because everybody started taking reservations June 1st, and we didn't really know that. So, we didn't have any reservations booked. But we head over to Trails. The way our day was going, this is just how it went. We walk into Trails, we wait a couple minutes, the guy walks up to us, he goes, "Hey, how many people?" "Just us two, just trying to grab some food."
I
he
fully
goes,
expect
"Okay,
him to say no.
give me a minute, or let me check." And we're like, shit. There's one table open, one foretop, and he comes back and he goes, "Oh, a couple people canceled, and we've got this table open." Literally couldn't have had, a better situation, because he found his wallet. We had an epic day of playing golf, and then we had a excellent dinner at the Trails. You had some pokey. I had this insanely good chili Thai chicken. Adobo chicken. It was just money.
Yeah. And then we got in the car and drove here. And we love you guys. We love your support. If this was a weird one, it probably is. But man, it is 1 o'clock in the morning, and
we both need to pass the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
but in short, Bandon Dunes is cool, and you should come. Do it. You should come.
Do it. I would say everybody that we talked to out here, though, recommended November. Every caddy, so I don't want to shred up November and make it a hard time for us to come out, but that's what people told us the best weather is.
Or just non-peak season.
And you get best rates.
AKA not when we came. But hey, Big C's moving to Portland, and we made it. We had to do it.
And we're going to make it work again. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're passing out. We got to wake up early to go.
I love how you slurred on passing out.
Yeah,
but I feel
you guys can tell we're donezo for the day.
Bandon Dunes is cool. We love you. That's it.
Well, next episode will be a insane take with our boy Andre, his brother, Coos Bay. Let's go.